Hi, I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex. And your character is?
Freako.
How you feeling? How you feeling about Freako right now?
Oh, I don't know. Just coming across some revelations in the wasteland. Just figuring some things out, tinkering and tankering.
Nice, nice. You're in kind of a unique position amongst our finalists in
Yeah,
that.
yeah. I was the one that didn't get any judge votes. I got the one that mattered though.
So let me ask you, because you've been pretty much just dominating the wild card. Any tricks of the trade you want to share with us?
Trying to make it undeniably what it is, I guess. Like, I guess from my position, I kind of have the edgier one. So like my friends actually like specifically like they'd be like, oh, okay, I like this because it's going a little darker than the kiddie stuff. So like that's kind of the incentive they saw. They're like, I would want to watch this, but if they're not kids. You know?
So you think it's really just that it's your peer group really just like it, so they are genuinely just voting for it?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I guess.
Are you busting your hand voting as well?
Not as much as my sister. She's ridiculous. Like she said she pulled an all-nighter. Like, what? You don't need to do that. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna win this.
Like we talked about this with the judges, because it is. I mean, it's a weird fit. I get to be. It's nice for me because it frees me up to just purely be a fan of it in front of the judges and all that kind of stuff. Because I'm like last year when we started this whole thing, we talked about my role, and as somebody who's going to be talking to the judges and working with them and sort of moderating that judging experience, I can't be there to influence them. So I can't really share my favorites in the room. But I find with Freako, I can kind of throw that out the window because it's one of those things that like it kind of can't win in that it's not the kids 6 to 11 that we always talk about looking for. But I said it flat out in the last one, like because I had someone ask me, someone wrote to me and said, "What do you think it is about Freako that's resonating, that's working for people?" And I said, "Well, flat out, simply." Alex has done a better job than almost any of the other creators of doing what Andy Greeling did last year in terms of communicating who his characters are and the fact that you know them really well, the humor, communicating what the show is. Like you've jumped through all the, you've crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's that a creator needs to do in a situation like this. So it's kind of undeniable in terms of like how fully formed this is. So people are responding to it, whereas the other ones are really strong in this area and really strong in this area, and some of them are stronger than others. But you've kind of you've been able to communicate what your show is and be funny better than most of the other people in this competition, even though there's this block of what we might never be able to get past in terms of it becoming a 6 to 11 comedy.
I'm not so hung up about that. I think by the end of challenge 1, just from what the judges were saying, like at first I was like, maybe I'll try to try and steer it in the direction so I can keep going through Startoon. But like after challenge 1, I was like, this is cartoon boot camp. I'm just gonna do it that way. And it's gotten me to a position where I'm like, I don't want to do kiddie stuff. I want to actually push it farther.
It's interesting because that was sort of like the advice that came from Andy Greeling in general last time around, was really just embrace what you're doing, and to everybody, embrace what you're doing and find a way to kind of almost like, he was basically saying, break the rules. Like you've got some constraints that are being put upon you as a creator, but really think about what do you want out of this, what are you trying to communicate out of this, and then go for the gold on it in terms of like using it as just a forum to really show off what you're doing. And again, you seem to have embraced that. You're doing this thing, and I mean, okay. And there were some. I think we'll all discuss the last submission, Because there was so that post-apocalyptic comment was sort of chasing you along the way.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just more of like a laugh between me and my girlfriend, because I was like, "Geez, they didn't even read my like updated description." Like, it seems like they're already kind of like decided what they want to think about Freako. So I was like, I'm just gonna, kick some dust in their face or something. It wasn't really about getting the kids hooting and hollering, but as just kind of like, hey, judges.
It can be just a wasteland, right?
Yeah.
Just
Why
a
not?
wasteland. Doesn't have to be post-apocalyptic. No, I admire your courage. I admire your gumption. You've stuck to your guns on this thing, and it's interesting to see it, because we got to know you and it last year, and a little bit, the first time around, and it's clear you've got this project that it's your thing, and it was. There had been progress already. Like, you came back to it this year kind of with guns blazing. You knew what Startoon was. You had made it. You had made a few adjustments already. Aesthetically, it had kind of moved forward a little bit, and it was already feeling a little friendlier. You knew what to lean into. Tell me a little bit about that, coming back to it a second time. Give me some of that process.
To be honest, it wasn't about coming back to Startoon.
Yeah.
It was just me, like, I don't know, like the first round of it, like, I wanted to do it frame by frame, and I was like, no, like, I was halfway through the challenge and there was like 3 days left, and I was like, oh my, I don't even know how to do rigged animation at that point in the first round. So I was like, I'm just gonna learn, I'm just gonna try to learn. I'm gonna try to, push the character development more on Freako, because like before Freako was more like happy-go-lucky guy and more like wildly like he had no care for what was no self-awareness kind of.
Okay.
So he was like a wrecking ball kind of friend for Mask Boy, and Mask Boy would always kind of get beat up by it, slapsticky kind of stuff. But then I was like, what if Freako just loved living in a crap hole of a universe, and he just thrives in it? Like, that's just funny from the get-go. So I just figured every time,
Well, there's joy in the character.
Yeah.
And that comes, and I think that's part of what really, like, it works. It works really well. I think it puts him in some good company. Like, we've seen that kind of archetypal character, that sort of, I don't know, it's sort of almost just the blissfully ignorant lead, the naive,
Yeah.
when against and completely against all odds, living in this world where everything is horrible. And he's still trundling along, just happy and living. But you also showed a lot of heart. The wish, just to be able to eat every day, and like it's like those are the things that come through that all of a sudden everyone goes, oh, Freako. But we wouldn't be sympathetic if we didn't care already. You made us like him.
True. It's just something about, like, I don't know. I wanted to make him the humblest. Who's the humblest? Like, I want Freako to be kind of like who I want to be. So like, I don't know. There's just something about building a main character off of, I don't know, what you would see would be good traits in a person.
Yeah.
Someone that doesn't complain about everything. Someone that, like, you hand him a pile of crap and he was expecting something different, he'd be saying, I can deal with this, I can work with this, and that's kind of what he ended up being.
So how are you feeling about the current challenge?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm going with it.
Yeah?
Because, like, I feel like in the judges' last statements, I don't think you told them that I was the wild card before they were done going through everything. So I think they were just like, okay, this will be just like a vote off, and we won't have to see him again. You know? And so they all unanimously voted off, and they're like, just stick with the adult thing, you know? And I'm like, sure, okay, I'll follow your advice this round. I follow your advice every round. The judges.
Because I think that's it with this. I think you just embrace it for what it is and let who you are as a creator come through, you know? Because we look at what we're doing with Startoon, and I find that we're constantly examining what it's for and what it does. Initially, we looked at this thing, it's character development, a character development outreach program. But what is that really? You know, that's actually a creator development program. It's to work with guys like you to find your voice. And because we're aiming for a certain thing, it kind of, does that mean that it doesn't work for guys like you? Well, no. It's people are responding, and we have to pay attention. And right from the get-go, that's what that wild card actually was about. Was to make. We hoped that it would show the judges that here's that thing that we wouldn't have been voting for, but it's resonating with people. So we have to look at why, and we have to look at and understand, because you want to be able to find that diamond in the rough, and you want to, and whether that's a character or a creator. Now, in this case, with the fact that our the general buying climate is for 6 to 11 comedies, which is why we did it this way, Freako becomes a hard fit. But they have to look at you as a creator and say, this guy's funny, he's doing his thing, he knows what he's doing, and it's working, and we're sympathetic, and we like it, and all that stuff. And that's kind of what that's my goal in all of it. Is that guys like you are going to get, a name and a voice, and at some point these people have to pay attention because it's making them laugh. I love Brandon every time around. It made me laugh. If it makes him laugh, he votes for it.
Yeah.
And that generally kind of works through. Now, I don't know how doomed you are, but I think we got to have a special award for Freako out of all this, because it just doesn't go away, and I'm happy every time. It's amazing.
I don't need a participation trophy. I don't need to be told that I'm special.
What are your thoughts on the others?
I think Pepper Monterey is going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm 100% on that one.
Yeah. That's a bold call.
I liked Suzanne a lot. I like it because it's kind of Mitch Hedberg-y, kind of stream of consciousness type stuff, and weird is always better. But yeah, just because Pepper and Monterey, it looks good.
It's slick. It is slick. There's no denying that.
Yeah, I mean, I was having this debate with a friend earlier. They were like, "Oh, it's a little derivative of Ren and Stimpy, don't you think? Getting a day job, scrubbing teeth or whatever." And it's like, but Ren and Stimpy's great.
But Ren and Stimpy was derivative of 1,000 other things before it as well. That was the whole thing of even Bugs and Daffy half the time were looking for a job, or Sylvester was looking for a meal. It was always, it comes from that it fits very well in that line of cartoons. I'm prepared to go there. And yes, I mean, certainly it has been given those comparisons, but it's slick as hell. And the characters seem to be defining themselves. They're coming into their own as personalities.
Yeah. That's why it's going to win.
Is it so? But is it as you think it's going to win, or is it your favorite?
It's going to win. Out of the three of them, I think they're decent. I don't think I'd put a favorite word on any of them.
Yeah.
But it's just it's the feeling I get looking at it. It's this is what I would want to see on TV.
Yeah.
Cool. Hazan, I would want an internet series of just strangeness.
It kind of came out of nowhere, Hazan. When we were able to, we identified early on, because you always do, right? You start looking at these things when they come in, and you kind of identify early on which ones you think might be strong contenders, and there's some that it's they never quite showed that thing they need to get any further. And Hazan was just, I think, and it barely even squeaked into the competition. I think it was really one of the kind of runners up just got into that top 30. But it just keeps making people laugh. So it is nice for me to look at it and say we do have one kind of just straight up oddball one there in those three. Because the other two, I mean, and I'm a big fan of Charlie Richards. He was also one of our guys last year. He did Betty Truffles last year, and I love Betty Truffles. I love Betty Truffles. So to see him come back and to have what, I mean, everyone's acknowledging it feels like a show, it's well written, all those things. To see him come back as a creator like that and to be in the top, in that top 3, in our top 4, is a lot of fun. People are kind of looking at it. What I'm hearing right now is I think it's anybody's guess right now. Like I'm really kind of, but I'm not a betting man. Like if you ever catch me like taking a bet, like don't bet against me, because I know 100% that I'm going to win. But I've seen things go strangely too many times. Who knows what Hazan could come back with?
Right.
You know, and because the judges like certain things about each one, and it's up to anybody right now to really again last year I would not have picked Angry Little Cupcake. It was a cool design and it was sort of neat, but when the way it caught up at the end and really showed itself off. I mean, yes, Sonny and Bentley had us basically Sonny and Bentley came out of the gates fully baked.
Yeah, they were hitting the ground running.
Yeah,
really hard.
Yeah, I mean Andy's an extraordinary talent, but Matt Haynes really the improvement, the arc on his was tremendous last year, and so it really still came down to kind of anybody's guess as far as I was concerned. But maybe that's just my default setting. I don't know.
I'd still like to see Jack the Rabbit become something as well.
Yeah.
That was something I was really partial to last year.
I think they did a great job. They're young, and I think they're guys to watch. You know, like the fact that they put all that together in school initially. That first submission was like, and Algonquin wasn't even doing full films as part of their program, but they got everybody together on that. And I thought their loop was amazing. Like it really, it's so yeah, we've been in touch with them a little bit again to see kind of what they're up to and where they're at, and we're going to see them at the Ottawa Festival coming up. Were there any this year that you missed that you were sorry to see go? Did you have a favorite that wasn't one of the ones that went all the way?
Yes, it's my absolute favorite. I still sing the song in my head at least once a week. It's from the very, just the submission round, okay? Like the 80 or whatever that are submitted. Feeling Groovy. That thing tripped me out.
Right?
I watched it over and over. Like, like the way it moved.
Yeah.
It was unsettling, and I loved it. It was very inspiring, and I can only mean that in the most sincere way. It was inspiration.
Nick Cross also because he was part of our submissions panel, and he pointed that one out as being I'm gonna find a nice but very subversive. Let's call it. It was a brain breaker. Yeah, whatever they did to the music to slow it down just a little bit.
This is what I've been trying to dissect it, and what I came to the conclusion of was the video portion of it, when they put the music over top of it, or maybe and it was like a little off sync. And there's something to do with the video codec that either sped up the music within it or slowed it down just by a hair, making it this demonic kind of rattling. I don't know.
No, it's and those first round ones you get some gems sometimes, and it was. But I mean, in all honesty, did you see that one moving forward?
I mean, as much as I would like to see it, no.
I mean, it would be great if we could start a channel in Canada for guys just like you that would be nothing but this kind of stuff, but I don't know as there would be advertisers for it that could actually that could pay anything. Yeah, that might be the issue in that one. Okay, so this final challenge, I want to get your feedback on, so we've put out this film challenge. They do tend to be ambitious and ask a lot of creators. Because we are down to that final round. How have you approached it? Like in terms of trying to dig in, and are you sticking to that minute mark? Are you just kind of going free form when you sit down to do something like this? What are your steps?
I think the first thing that I do is just kind of I play off the concept a bit. It said, careful what you wish for. So, you got to have that kind of feeling in there somehow. So then I just start to try and build beats, kind of. You know, like it kind of gets boiled down to, okay, the thing happens, makes the wish, goes back to that situation, you know, resolution. Careful what you wish for. Um, but I don't know. I'm very lax when it comes to just kind of like making it up, and then like I panic in the last week. That's kind of my style.
Okay. So you're picturing a few late nights
Yeah.
as you get down to
One
the
or
end of
two.
it? But you seem pretty confident. You seem pretty good. Is this the freedom of being Freako right now?
Yeah, it's kind of that, and it's also like I already know what I want to do with Freako, so now I'm just having fun, so that it's no pressure, and just knowing that you're not gonna win is so liberating. It's like at this point, like I don't know, I think it was a challenge go when I did like the Face Your Fears. I really don't like my submission for that one.
Oh no?
Just because Freako is so frantic and just not himself. It felt wrong.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. It was, and that was the one that I was pandering the most to the judges, trying to like make it work.
Yeah.
And then after that, I just didn't care. Like I was like, okay, I don't win. I just want to play.
Nice, nice. That's amazing. That's amazing. Yeah. So you do. You have the freedom now to just do as feels right.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean,
Yeah.
I kind of wish for that for everybody at this stage, and because it does have to be about what your show really is, you know.
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of pressure to have these judges there, and I know it's a lot of pressure, but I mean, we were kind of hoping that people would see, like last year, when we had, I mean, it was undeniable. Andy Greenling really just nailed it, and he's one of those guys, and working with him has been tremendous. But we went back and we picked up Tough Palm, because Tough Palm was awesome.
Yeah.
Pure and simple, and it was we didn't quite know what it was going to be, and we're still figuring that out. I do believe we actually have a shoot this week with some actual Pomeranians
Oh,
as part of the development process for Tough Palm this year.
I love mixed media.
Right?
Great.
And Joel's fantastic. We just knew we wanted to do something, so and that's one that just was what it was pure, right? It was just Joel. It was his thing. So I think the upside of something like this is that even if you don't win, you can you can be found. You can find yourself. You can find your voice, and I think there's other gold that comes out of this.
I think the real trick, like now that you mentioned Tough Palm and just how it was just kind of good from the start, it had its essence there already. I think like the trick to making a cartoon is like how far can you boil it down and still recognize it, you know? Like the way I always saw with Freako is, okay, like the farthest I can boil it down is he is someone who loves living in a piece of crap town, you know, like or something like that. And it's like, yeah, that's Freako, that's him. You know, I don't know how to boil it further down, but what I mean is, I don't know.
But you got to get to the essence of it.
Yeah, it's like there's the core to it.
Yeah.
You got to be able to recognize the core.
And you'll be able to strip all this stuff away, and it's still true to itself.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing, and it is. That's the that's the point of this. This is what I mean by you've actually been able to communicate this properly. You've been able to do this properly, and that you know this thing through and through. And that's, I think, really what has come through in every single round.
Yeah, I mean, like I guess I've been working on it for a long time too. Probably since I was in grade 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It started out with Mask Boy and Big Mac.
Okay.
Catman. And Freako just kind of came along as like I'm gonna wreck everything, you know, kind of guy. A very slurred speech, and now he's more like I'm Freako. I'm a really happy guy.
Yeah.
Just being open to letting new things happen. That's what's really made it like top itself.
Yeah.
Every time I go back to redevelopment.
Very cool. And the experience, the Startoon experience so far. I mean, you came back for a second time around, so you can't have hated it too much.
Like I said before, I didn't really want to win. Like first year, maybe a little bit, just because I was like, oh, it'd be so cool to get a development deal. But like after a while, it's like, no, man, pure and simple. This is cartoon boot camp, and it's not just about like improving animation skill or anything like that. It's about just like this is like a critical thinking challenge, and like I needed that because I want to make this my own as on my own as well.
Nice.
You know, after.
So no spoilers for us?
I mean, if you want a spoiler, Freako gets a hammer to the face.
Okay, we'll leave it right there. Awesome. Okay. So you're feeling good. You're feeling confident. We got a couple weeks to go. You're not too worried. You're just doing your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely stressed from moving, but other than that...
Yeah, you had to move in the middle of all this too.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's literally the only stressful part of this whole thing. Like, I am not biting my teeth.
Yeah.
Biting my nails about this, the finale.
Yeah.
Not at all.
All right. Well, we'll see what happens with that vote. Keep that rolling. And do you want to plug anything here? Where do we find you online?
Oh, geez. Okay. I would say add me on Facebook. Like,
yeah.
I don't care who adds me. Alex Martens. Look me up.
All right.
What else? I guess maybe YouTube. Look up Masked Boy. MaskedBoy on the YouTube. You can find Freaks of the Wasteland episode 1 there. And I'm anticipating episode 2 as soon as Startoon is done.
All right, we're gonna call it there, dude. Thank you so much. Good luck. We'll see what happens in the big finale, and I just can't wait to see the last submission. It is honestly, it's a thing for me when Freako shows up. It's like Freako's in. The day Freako is in, it's here. It's always that's my big one. You got a fan for life right here.
Oh, Mike.
All right, well we're gonna stop recording. We're gonna wave goodbye, and you're gonna stop recording.
Bye.